Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Heintz, and I am an emotion and body code practitioner. That means I'm certified to work with the imbalances that take place in the body. I do this with the use of kinesiology or muscle testing. That allows me to talk to your body and get answers that can help you. Did you know that your body is completely made up of energy? Albert Einstein, the great scientist and philosopher, said, "Everything is energy, and that is all there is to it." It just vibrates at different frequencies. He goes on to say that, "Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality." Well, our bodies are a combination of energies, and they're vibrating at many different frequencies. And if everything is functioning correctly, we're able to absorb these outside energies and integrate them together to function at an amazing level. Since everything is energy, this means that the food we eat, the fluids we drink, as well as the air we breathe and the sounds and sights we see, we all process these, and they constitute the physical senses, and they are significant. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever used a dog whistle? I'm talking about one of those things you blow through and don't hear anything out of. Just because you can't hear something doesn't mean it's not there. The frequency of the note is beyond our ability to hear it, but your dog does hear it. In fact, it can really annoy them. There is so many energies that our body processes that come from other things that are around us also, sending vibrations and frequencies we can't even see, and yet they affect us also, more than we realize. And just as a dog whistle isn't heard with our human ear, we absorb vibrations and energy swirling around us, and they do make a huge impact upon us. Here's something we've discovered. Our bodies have two parts. One is on a physical level, and the other is on a spiritual level. Each one has different jobs to do, and they're extremely important, and they work together. Even though you can't see the spiritual side, you can feel its influence, and it's vital to the survival of the physical body. It's the processor that tells the body what to do with all that energy, depending on what your body needs. In fact, it's so important that if you take the spirit out of the body, well, we call that being dead. It's the spirit that animates this meat suit we call a physical body. To make things easier to understand, we call the physical side of our body the conscious mind, and the spiritual side the subconscious mind. And in reality, it's an entire body system integrated and functioning together. This allows the system to gather all the necessary energies to keep us up and running. There's a lot going on behind the scenes when it comes to our bodies, and researchers have determined that our conscious minds, or the physical side, has only 0.000000001% influence over our actions. That isn't very much. This is information that we don't think about. We frequently underestimate the power of the subconscious mind, and it actually runs our bodies. It processes the energies we consume, and if for some reason there's an overload that we can't handle, the circuit blows and an imbalance occurs. The energy overload is transferred as a ball of unintegrated energy that attaches itself to our body system. Usually it picks a problem area to stick to, and something that's already imbalanced or maybe not even functioning correctly. It's just like barnacles, those little annoying sea creatures that attach themselves to the bottoms of saltwater boats. Eventually, these barnacles build up and cause the boat to be slower and use more energy to get from point A to point B. And just like these boats, these balls of energies or imbalances stick to our magnetic fields or directly to parts of our body, even inside of it. The energies that can affect us can be emotional, physical, mental, or even spiritual. And they can come in the form of toxins, excesses, foods. It can be even your Aunt Margaret, bad grades on a test, a smash up with your car. All these combine to create anxiety, stress, physical disease, depression, or any number of ailments. If you think about it, all these troublesome little labels are just symptoms of an underlying problem. To be truthful, a symptom is our body trying to communicate with us to tell us about an issue that needs to be taken care of. Now, what's our problem? We just haven't been taught to listen. In our society, we just know something is wrong and we want it to be fixed. Now! What do we normally do when there's a problem? Well, no matter what we call it, be it sickness, stress, anxiety, or depression, we've been trained through media and caring parents that we need to see a specialist. Someone trained to help us recover from our problem, and it's usually recovering from a symptom. In today's world, you have two different choices. Number one, because of our training, it's normally traditional Western medicine that we turn to, which actually suggests that any symptom, the problem that we physically recognize, should be treated with some kind of a drug. This drug, in turn, masks the problem, and we move on with our life. But the basic issue is not resolved. It's still there, only temporarily covered up, and usually it'll rear its ugly head in another way later on, somewhere else. The second choice is to find a holistically minded specialist that deals with the whole body. That's what holistic means, and uses the symptoms to discover the actual problem causing that symptom. Remember, the symptom is our body trying to communicate with us. How about treating and eliminating the problem so the symptoms don't come back? What a novel idea! If you have an infection and just put a Band-Aid on it and hope it goes away, if you didn't clean it out really, really well, you're going to have to deal with it later when it's worse, and sometimes it takes surgery to get it out, and that can affect multiple parts of our body. So think about it. Of course, this is a very broad interpretation of the two choices, and there is a place for just about all kinds of medicines. But take a moment and consider, what makes the most sense? Masking the symptoms with drugs, or listening to the body and treating the actual problem and naturally eliminating the symptoms? Now, as body code practitioners, we take the symptoms that have expressed themselves as problems, and instead of prescribing a drug, we use it as the beginning point to dig down and find out what the actual problem is. And then we clear any imbalances so that the body can fix itself. So how is this done? That's where the emotion and body code come in. Muscle testing for answers and using a system of over 260 plus charts about the body covering all aspects of the mind and the body. The subconscious directs our focus to the actual sources of the problem, peeling away one layer after another until the core is discovered. And then asking the right questions is the key. It really is. Then knowing how to release and balance the body system to allow the natural body functions to occur and the healing to begin. Now, this is a lot to absorb for many people. Can it really be this simple? Use the power of the mind to discover what's really happening? Well, I'm telling you that it can. Trusting someone with something you can't see to do something you can't physically touch, it can be a leap of faith. But isn't that what we do every single day when we pick up our plastic cell phones with no wires or visible connections and make a phone call, expecting an unseen person, usually a specific person to be exact, to answer the phone? And then what do? We exchange verbal information via energy frequencies. Not enough to convince you? What about having your computers fixed via wireless support from somewhere else in the world? They actually connect to your machine, and then they take over the device to make the changes. It just happens. Every day we depend on unseen energies. We are willing to work, and we're willing to believe that they work. We don't know how they work. They just do. Now here's one more. We believe that our radio will provide us with the music we want when we tune it into a specific frequency. Did you think that someone started playing a song when you decided to tune it in? Or was that music there all along? And the kicker is, how did you manage to have it appear out of thin air? I submit to you that your mind is more powerful than you ever dreamed. It is not only a receiver, but a transmitter that can affect your life and those around you. It is the most powerful system devised on this earth, and from it all our technology has come, one piece at a time. Now, I'm hoping that you will allow yourself the opportunity to find out. Schedule a life-changing session to address an issue that you have and find out what's really causing it to happen. Not only can it be used for creating your ultimate health, it can be used to improve your happiness and success level in so many different ways. You can feel happier, relieve stress, form and nurture better relationships, increase your wealth, and even live longer by the use of this system. Click down below to schedule an appointment. And if there's other videos you want to see, you'll find them on this website, thebodyemotions.com.